Let's see, I think we're live here. This is Milind's round 5. FIDE Master Milind Maiti with white. And his Grandmaster Nyzhnyk. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name, but him, everybody knows. You know him. We just started at 6:30 Pacific time. Round 5 in the 2022 National Open. Round 5 of 9. So we got a Queen's Gambit accepted. Some sort of modern idea with the knight b6, bishop backs off. c6, 92, okay. I think Illya went to Webster, or still goes to Webster, works with, of course, Susan Polgar, whom has seen Milind play. I know that from being there, watching it. There was a Susan Polgar, one of her championships in San Mateo, where if you win, you get automatic berth in the World Youth Cadets or Chess Championships back then, whatever year it was. And Milind played in one of those tie breaks long time ago. I'm not familiar with Illya's game at all, but I know the kid has always been just lights out, really good. And I say kid, I don't know how old he is, but he's younger than me, so I refer to him as kid, no offense. It's a compliment in the chess world. A compliment. At least around here it is. It also implies that you're young. That's good too. I gotta admit, Queen's Gambit accepted. It's not the kind of position that I have historically taught. It's up to the student, of course, but most of my students decline early on. You know, U1800, U2100, they decline Queen's Gambit. Very few have accepted, and their position's always good. Well, it's a different experience than a decline Queen's Gambit. This kind of lack of pawn center, I don't know this, but I would imagine that black is trying to prove that the, you know, with e4 and then e5, that the white center is a little overextended. And black's got, you know, the knights have been biffed. The king's knight has been biffed, but no more biffing for the time being. We're going to see a knight c3, right? We're going to see a bishop e3. I wouldn't imagine, I mean, if Nyzhnyk plays, you know, bishop g4, Milind's going to play knight, pawn f3, right? That's one of the niceties with knight e2 instead of knight f3. If there's a bishop g4, you have the option of f3. What you don't want is, when you castle short, you don't want the pin. Oh, I didn't bring up the paint application. Hang on. Let me do this real quick. I forgot. All right, what color is it? It's blue. So what you don't want is when you castle short, right? Milind's going to castle short. It's going to happen. So when you castle short, what you don't want is a pin on your king's knight to your queen being a problem. I don't mean, tactically blunder. I mean, you just don't want it to be a problem, because if it's a problem, you have very few ways to deal with it typically. So knight e2 is, sometimes you have that choice instead of the standard knight f3. And this is one, if you're the trainer, you're the coach, and give the knight doesn't always go to f3. Yes, usually your knight goes to f3. If your g1 knight is white, 9 times out of 10, yeah, it goes to f3. Yes, but there are exceptions to that. So what you don't want is the machine-like player who just automatically e4, knight f3. Blah, blah, blah. No, that's a disaster waiting to happen. It's going to be predictable, and it's going to be inaccurate from time to time. That's one of those players who's going to be 80% correct, but the 20% is going to bite him in the butt, and that's what's going to hold him back. So I do like the knight e2. And if there's going to be, what if is black? You're not going to seek any kind of play on the d pawn right now, right? But I mean, is this the kind of thing where you might gambit the d pawn just for some rapid development? I mean, black's going to have to try to get the king out of the middle. That's important. It's going to take a couple of moves just for that. So you can't play, I mean, Bxc6 feels weird. You could do a fianchetto with like a bishop f5. I don't know about that though. Black could castle long here. Well, the bishops, the white's bishops are clearly going to be, the white square bishop is going to be better than its counterpart. So black wants to make sure that both white bishops are better than their black counterparts. That may well be bad. Your book is saying bishop g4, bishop e6. Bishop e6 I think I like more. I don't like bishop g4. Bishop g4, there's going to be f3. On a non-chess point, and I don't know if Illya's got family in Ukraine or not, but he's got the flag. He's playing for the Federation. When there's other things happening in your life and you're playing rated over the board in a big tournament, I know I haven't been able to do it. Not focus the entire time on chess. My mind has wandered and gone to thinking about whatever it was that was away from the board. I would be interested to see how players deal with that. You know, what do they try? What works for them? What doesn't work for them? Or are they just able to have absolute focus and concentration? It's not the kind of thing you ask. If you coach scholastic chess, you don't bring that up. I've never brought that up before. I've had students ask me, but I've never, okay, kid, if this is, something real bad is going, no. I mean, sometimes chess can be a nice distraction, but for an extended period of time in a really tough battle, it's a little different. Yeah, okay, bishop e6. So we're going to see Illya's going to castle long. So what did we see here? Bishop g4, f3, bishop e6. Okay. So he wanted f3. He wanted Milind to play f3. Interesting. Okay, bishop g4, f3, bishop e6, knight b to c3, right. Knight b4 to go to d5. Okay. Knight b4, bishop e4, keeping the bishop pair. Knight d5, knight 4 to d5, thank you. Castle, queen d7. Illya's going long. I wonder how old this Nyzhnyk is. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still at Webster. And shout out to Webster, by the way, and to Susan Polgar. We've had many masters visit the club over the years. And the one guest who didn't charge me anything was Susan Polgar. And she could have charged whatever she wanted. The answer would have been yes, absolutely, agreed, no problem. But she didn't. And of course, we're happy to pay the appearance fee for our guests. And that's one of the, I think it's a terrific opportunity for everybody involved. When you coach scholastically, when you train scholastic chess players, and some, I don't know where, I guess it depends on where the student lives and everything that goes with that, but I think it's very important to show the scholastic player that they can compete with any human being in a chess game, period, over the board, online, whatever. Chess does not care how old you are or are not, where you live or you don't live, whether you're a boy, girl, whatever. Nothing matters, just moves. Can you play the moves? Can you play the position? So some players, at least around here, when you go to a scholastic chess tournament, you'll hear the kids talking to each other. And if they know each other, okay, that's different. But if they don't know each other and they're about to play, it's not, hi, my name is such and such. What's your name? Nice to meet you. No, it's what's your rating? And a lot of players are intimidated by very high ratings, such as you're playing, Nyzhnyk, his rating is 2692. You tell that to some kids out here, but oh yeah, your opponent's 2692. They'll go and cry and ask for mommy and daddy. They'll react negatively. They'll think the game's already done, and they may well lose if they play. Yeah, sure, it happens, but it doesn't mean that's always going to be the case. So when you provide simul opportunities, workshops, the kids get the experience of playing really strong players and competing against them. Now in a simul, there's a bunch of boards thrown at the grandmaster, but hey, they're playing a GM. That's really cool. Maybe they're not at their maximum peak, the master, but they're still playing very strong chess and giving all of their opponents an opportunity to learn from very strong chess. And when you're a trainer, when you're coaching scholastically, that's exactly what you want your students to see. The best moves possible, because they will mimic what they see. So over the years, we've had, the club used to meet in Santa Clara. The group classes met in Cupertino. We've had, mostly when a master would come, it would be to the club in Santa Clara and give a simul, a lecture and a simul perhaps, or just a book talk, or some sort of combination of a lecture and information being given to the students, and usually a play, a simultaneous exhibition against the kids, and not always blindfolded unless Gareev was there. And the kids, because these students will end up nowadays, I remember, when we first started having the simuls, it was that my students weren't playing in the open section back then. But now, some of them are playing opponents they've played at the club in simuls, but they're playing them one-on-one in the open section. And they've had the experience of, hey, I've played that person before. I can compete against them. We've played. I analyze the game. I have a sense of familiarity. I know this person. We can have a post-mortem after the game and break it down. Yes, it's a can-do attitude. Very important. Gives them a sense of, it's not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. And that also fosters a lot of hungry scholastic chess players, as in they want to play. They're not ducking and dodging strong players. That's what they're looking for. They're playing up. They're looking to play guys like Nyzhnyk. They're looking to play the grandmaster. They're looking to play the highest rating they can possibly find so they can improve their game. The en passant capture. For coaches and trainers who work with scholastic players, beginning scholastic players, young scholastic players. Give them the physical opportunity to play the en passant capture. Let them just practice a bunch. It's the kind of thing that can be missed, you know, especially if a kid apparently knows how to play already and you're not the one showing them the moves and whatnot. It's the kind of thing that older players can easily take for granted because we've captured en passant or had that opportunity zillions of times. Whereas if you're 6 years old, maybe you've never captured en passant in an actual game. You might have done it in a puzzle or two. You've seen it done, but is it ingrained in you? Are you accustomed to it? Oh yes, en passant. So give them those en passant puzzles, those drills. Make sure they understand it and see it on a regular basis, not just one day. No. I remember asking students over the years, like, hey, how many times have you captured en passant? Never. Like, what? Nah, coach, imagine I never captured en passant. Okay. Let's work on that right now. E-files open up. Illya's got to... the king can't stay on E8 forever. He's got to be on long, but if you're Milind here and Nyzhnyk is going long, do you try to cheat on the queen side? You know, like A4, A5 kind of thing? I like rook E1. I mean, he's got a rook in play. Black doesn't have one yet. But here, the Isolani. Right, so one technique to come up with play, ideas, moves, whatnot, is to just look at the pawns. Just look at the pawn skeleton. And here we've got an isolated D pawn. So here, this D pawn has no other white pawns that can guard it. So what's the strategy if you're Milind, generally speaking? Well, you want to put rooks on the adjacent files, because here in the case of the E file, it's open, C file's half open file, okay? You want to control the square in front of the pawn so you can advance it. So you're going to have your minor pieces seek to help control D5. And you want to keep minor pieces on the board. Keep minor pieces on the board. If you're Illya, what do you want to do? Well, you want to blockade this pawn. You want to blockade the pawn, as in control the square in front of it, so that way the pawn cannot advance. You want to trade off the minor pieces. If the minor pieces come off the board, let's get rid of all the minor pieces. So let's pretend they come off in even trades. You're gone. And you're gone. We traded opposite color bishops. How about that? Yes, you're gone. Okay. So if all of these minor pieces disappear, what's going to happen? Well, black is going to pile all the heavy pieces, make an Alyakin gun, onto the D5 and try to attack and put pressure on the pawn. White's going to have to defend. Black will be attacking, white will be defending. Go your castle's long. So isolated D pawn, and you're going to have it no matter what system you play. You're going to have an isolated D pawn. Period. And some players can get, oh no, I don't want isolated. I can't. No. It's always bad. No. It's like 50-50. You have to be able to play with an isolated D pawn because it's going to happen. And if you categorically avoid it, not encourage. You're going to have it so often. You don't want to treat it as a weakness and run away from it. Treat it as a weakness and make it a strength. Around here, in the South Bay, I don't know if Splain, National Master Splain, has his games online anymore, but Splain would have an isolated D pawn a lot, and he used to put his games online on his website, and he'd annotate them. I don't know if he put them up, but somebody put them up, and they were his games with his annotations. And those were very instructive. Not that I've seen all of them, but I've Splain knows his stuff. Always thought there should have been like, you know, some sort of, there was a podcast. This is going way back. Splain used to play at the Colty Chess Club, and I don't know Splain at all. I might have talked to him a couple of times here and there. But Splain explains it. I thought that sounded cool, and it would have been absolutely correct. The guy knows what he's talking about. So we've got opposite side castling, which means it's going to be very violent. There's going to be a lot of fighting. Now, material, I'm not saying in this game you throw it out the window, but what's more important is getting your attack in. It's going to be a race. Nyzhnyk is going to be throwing the king side, some of the king side pawns, not all of them. You can't caveman attack. But some of the king side pawns, 1, 2, whatever, are going to participate in the attack with pieces on the white king side, and vice versa. Milind's A and B pawn. A pawn looks like a good candidate to throw up the board quickly. But you want initiative. You want to get your attack in first. It's a race. Whoever gets in their attack first wins. I haven't seen I've hardly seen any Olympiad team rosters. The ones I've seen thus far have not been very impressive. India's teams I like. A lot of youth. That's awesome. And of course they can do it. With some of the teams are a little oldish, which depending on what team it is, I don't know if I like so much. But I've been wondering about Ukraine's Open Olympiad team, as in, are they going to field one? I would imagine so. I would hope so. And who's on it? I would think that team might be a little young. But I don't know. I haven't looked. I don't think they're showing the U2300 boards at all on their live boards, unfortunately. Carlsen won Norway chess. So this is the third game that we've streamed for this tournament, and all the openings have been one of the big four. Here we've got a Queen's Gambit accepted, but a Queen's Gambit is one of the big four, a system you're going to have to play. We saw Spanish in the first round with Royu's game, and we saw King's Indian defense in Milind's second round. Rounds 3 and 4 did not have any of my old students playing on live boards, so I didn't stream. If there was, well, I don't know too many of the players there, but for the Olympiad, I will do some streaming. We'll follow some of our favorite players who've been to the club and played the students, and some of the more interesting teams. And also the candidates. We'll do some of that. I did not have dinner right before this, so I'm going to have to make something during this game, probably. Round 6 is what time tomorrow? 10 a.m. I think. I bet it's hot there in Las Vegas right now. All right, we've got A4 on the board. Yeah. We could. This is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. But we could. All right. Knight B4. Knight C4. Can we get a knight C1 and then a knight B3? So we have 4 squares. I mean, you know, knights playing 4 square. You don't see that too often. Let's check out this Nyzhnyk. I don't know that much about him. Born in 96. Okay. GM 11 years ago. (2007) at the World Youth Chess Championship, he tied for first in under 12, placing second on tie breaks. Scored his first GM norm the next year. December 2010, he was equal first with Dion. Shock Festival Groningen. At that point, he was the youngest GM in the world. Oh, he played at Tata Steel in January 2011. Nice. His rating now is his peak. He's number 43 in the world. Wow. Wow. Well, there you go. Stockfish is saying to take on d5 and then get in a b4. Be nice to get in b4, but I don't know about the trade. And once again here on Follow Chess, which is where I'm getting this live board from. Sometimes the moves come in bundles. assuming since Milind is on a live board here, he won his last round. All round 3 or had a draw. I haven't seen the standings. I don't know who has how many points. I haven't seen them posted anywhere. I'm sure Las Vegas Chess Festival posts that kind of stuff. I just haven't seen it. A lot of these live streaming chess sites are just garbage. They're full of ads and just too much data to load. And they don't have the games you want to see anyways. I miss the days of Chess Bomb. Nowadays, it's just everything wants your money. Even though they're not giving you a good product. As in some buggy website with live boards you don't want to see. Or streamers that are just shit. And there's a lot of them in the chess world. A bunch. Who are just outright insulting to the game and to other players. For no good reason. Milind did get into time trouble in round 2. And this, hang on, does this kid, I guarantee you this Nyzhnyk can play at any time control, but does he? Does he have any rapid something or other under his belt? Let's check his FIDE card. Rapid 2658. Yeah, this guy can play in time trouble. Number 1 in Ukraine. So he's going to play b4 now? We'll see how Milind plays this. Alright, so we're going to see what coordination on c7. Like king b8, knight f4, take bishop f4. Yeah. Knight c3? I'm not sure I understand knight c3. What is his plan? Where is the knight going next? What is white doing? Black gonna try to pick on that d pawn a little more here. Okay, so Illya wants the a5 provocation. So what Milind's trying, okay, Milind's trying to push d5. He's trying to push d5. Right? Well, move the bishop guard the pawn, that is. Or so the pawn is sustained. f4 was also an option. me see if U2300 is going. I doubt it. But let me just, whoops, let me check. Re1 was playing Cordova. Oh, what happened there? Yep, no U2300 section. Oh well. Well, good luck to Aryan Shatij and Arjun in that section. 7-rounder, FIDE rated. Aryan's gained a lot of rating points in the pandemic. He was 2019 club champion. And what was Aryan's rating back then? I don't know. 1,500, 1,400, something like that. But he's progressed very well. In terms of rating, I haven't seen any of his play. But he has been playing a lot. It's me adjusting in the chair. It's not me passing gas. Thank you very much. And we do a lot of random chess at my club, especially recently over the years. I love chess rando. We did, I don't know about we, but I have played a random chess variant called fart chess. One of the students made it up and we played and we laughed hard. I don't even remember the mechanic, but it worked in the game and it was funny. So there you go, Bishop B4. So now you have to, I think you and I have to, you go D5 here. And then you've got some exchangearoos going on. Bishop F4, D5. Whoa. That chair reclined too quickly that time. Rookie 2, rookie 2. Okay, so he's going what? No one's going to double on the E file. He's not going after C7 anymore. Right, so you have the shield, right? That rook could also go to C2. Let me throw some food on the grill here for this middle game. I'll be right back. One last thing I forgot to mention. When you've got the Isolani, another idea is to try to use the squares, the isolated d-pawn attacks, as outposts, even though technically they might not be outposts, but homes for your minor pieces to use. I don't know if you can hear the sizzle or not. Hang on. Ah, yes. Once again, eating these Kettle farm stand ranch potato chips. They're quite tasty. Like I said before, this is what it's all about. When you're a coach trainer, watching your students, your old students, live, somewhere big, playing somebody huge, and you're eating potato chips watching them. That's pretty good. I'll take it. I will take it. Then again, I like potato chips. And good chess, so they go hand in hand. What I need now is some juice. Gotta go turn that Polish. I'll be right back. Would Illya do F5? Yeah. F5 was coming at some point. This bishop's going to get it. I have to get off the E file. Nyzhnyk is way up on the clock. In terms of, I mentioned this last stream, I don't know how Milind plays these days. I haven't seen him play live. When was the last time I saw Milind play live? It's been a while. In terms of in person. But players can always speed up. You know, he may be taking too much time in the games I've streamed this tournament, which may not reflect accurately on his style at all. But that can be remedied. A player speeding up, typically that can be addressed. It's when they go too fast. And somebody, 2310 or whatever the rating is, he'll know when he can play fast or not. Perhaps not at this level, but he'll be able to add that to his repertoire, to his regiment. The opposite, I can't. I remember Hans, when he came to our club once for quads, this one time, and the kid was just lightning fast. We had G30, and it's Saturday morning, 9 a.m. He shows up with a 6-pack of those little donuts, the small Hostess donuts, and wins the first game in like 2 minutes. I'm not even kidding. And at those tournaments, if all of the players in the section agreed to start early, we would start the next round early and also the final round of the quads. So the next game in his quads finished early as well. So we started round 2, and he won that in 4 minutes. And he was eating a donut here, donut there, just lightning fast, but just ruthless, just fast. And the last round, took 5 minutes, and he won. He won all 3. Ate 5 donuts, traded the last donut for a scorebook, and then left. And I've had another student play him in one of the smaller national championships out in San Mateo or wherever it was one year. And my student tried to out-blitz Hans. That student, Coach Rule, was in group class with Milind at one point. And that was the first group class I ever did on my own. And Hans was just always fast, and I guarantee you he's still fast today. But that is, I don't know who taught Hans. I really have no idea. But I don't teach kids how to blitz. They'll go somewhere else for that. I don't know how to do that, kid, and I can't show you. I can give you some pointers on what to do in time trouble, but how to blitz? Teach us how to blitz. I am not Titus in Final Fantasy X. I'm not going to show you how to blitz. I don't know. That goes back to D5, huh? When is this Nyzhnyk going to put his other rook on E8? I've been thinking, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It doesn't happen. Uh-oh. there be another exchange here? Knight takes, b takes, bishop a3. That rook is going down to a bishop. Oh, let me check the grill. I'll be right back. Yeah, so we're going to see b takes, bishop a3, and one of Milind's queen's rook is going to get trapped. When you've got a rook in an area without a lot of mobility for the rook and open diagonals, it happens. It happens. I don't know if people eat chips while they stream or not. I doubt it. Not with the mic on. I kind of want to hear what it sounds like. Yeah, that's loud. Excuse me. That's one bit that I made up. You know, if you don't want to hear somebody talk, start eating chips. You won't hear a word they say. It works. You can't drop that a4 pawn. You can't drop the exchange and then also the a pawn. That would not be good. Grab some food here. Gonna eat real quick. What I miss? D5 Queen A4. All right, so what Nyzhnyk is probably going to do here is try to trade off everything equally, non-pawns. When up material, trade pieces evenly to reduce the opponent's ability to attack you. Pieces in that usage does not include pawns. And that's something I need to do a better job as a coach and trainer is, you know, when I say pieces, next move is bishop c5. When I say pieces, do I mean just pieces and not pawns, or do I mean pawns and pieces? Sometimes I mean both, and usually I don't. But I probably should be a little longer-winded instead of just throwing out pieces. Yep, bishop c5. training technique. Is to give your student a technically one position, but they need to actually win the position. And against you, you're the trainer, you're the coach. You take them on, and give yourself some play in the position, but not only if they go astray. And that is the most frequently violated plan of my almost 20 years coaching chess that I see my students commit. It's when they're up material, they don't force as many quality trades evenly to reduce the opponent's ability to attack them as they could. Sometimes they do something else. That happens repeatedly. All of a sudden, the opponent's back in the game. Yeah. Well, let's go through the game here. Okay. All right, Milind's got white. Gambit accepted. I'm not familiar with this system at all. So far, so good. F3 looks fine. Bishop B6. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, keep your bishop, right? Bishop B4. We see the knight do that commonly, to go from bishop 3 to knight 5, back to queen 4, that kind of thing. Very common. Castle, that's fine. Yeah, so we're going to have opposite side castling. Bishop D2, yeah, okay, F5, en passant. This is okay. Rook E1 is okay. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do this, but clearly it's not a mistake. A4 looked a lot more promising than it ended up turning out to be. Okay, so take. I thought we might see B4 here, but no. B4 with an, maybe some coordination on B7, Queen B1 kind of thing. Okay, Rook C1. Okay, King gets up. You see that all the time. You'll see a strong player just get off the X-ray immediately. You just you get used to it. You just see it. Okay, Knight C3. It's fine. Here, White's pieces get a little bit jumbled somewhat. They're not in the most typical squares. Okay, Rook slides. Tactically, this is okay, right? Bishop backs off. That's okay. And here. Bishop F2 makes no threats. White has no play. You'd have to do what? Because we know what's going to happen. There's going to be a chop on C3 and then Bishop A3, and there goes the exchange. So What do? Bishop G5? Bishop G5. Got a counterattack. Counterattack is the best defense when possible. Here, white has no counterattack and is just giving the material back with no play, or giving the material with no play. I'm not familiar with this Nyzhnyk's game at all. Of course, you've heard about him for a zillion years. But this guy, his position improved very quickly. His pieces coming to the game quickly. And that King's Rook was a little tardy to the party, but it didn't really matter. Bishop F2. If we go back a little bit, let's see. You can play bishop g5. You can also throw in a bishop d3. You're still on your heels, but I mean, black's... I guess it depends what black does, but they're going to have to respond. As in, Milind can hit the rook on d8, can hit the bishop on c4. Just keep counterattacking, counterattack, put pressure on him. This Illya kid is not bad. That was a nice game. Interesting game. Thanks to both players for teaching us. It's round 5. Let's see. Next round is going to be at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll see if anybody's playing. No U2300 live boards, so we won't be streaming that. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream later on today or not, but that's going to do it for this one. Bishop F2 was losing through force, and white drops the exchange. That's it for Coach Matthew here, round 5, National Open. Interesting games thus far. Let's check the other before we go. What else is happening? I guess nothing noteworthy as of yet. All right, well, that does it for this stream. Thanks for watching.